Hey everyone, welcome to your custom deep dive into BiBK's year.
Yeah.
2024.
We've got a whole stack of intel for you. Meeting notes, project evaluations.
And even some fun little snippets from the newsletters.
It's going to be great.
Get ready for the inside scoop on what your regional library network has been up to this year.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just set the stage.
Right.
What is BiBK, and why should our listeners care about what they do?
Well, BiBK stands for Bibliotheksuitvikling Blikking Kroneberg.
Oh, catchy.
Right, catchy name.
Yeah.
But basically, they're the support system for public libraries
Okay.
in Blikking and Kroneberg.
Got it.
They're like this team helping libraries share resources and ideas
Makes sense.
so they can better serve their communities.
And it looks like they've had their work cut out for them.
For sure.
One thing that really stuck with me from the April newsletter was that statistic about library visits. A decline of 863,000 visitors since 2011.
And the newsletter even mentioned libraries needing to be more, quote, selling to win back their audience.
Interesting.
That sounds like a big challenge.
It really shows how libraries need to change how they operate.
Yeah.
With so much info online, they can't just be places with books.
Right.
They need to show how valuable they are and connect with people in new ways.
It's like they need to become a destination.
Yes.
It's not just a building you pass by.
That's exactly where BiBK comes in.
Yeah.
They're giving libraries the tools and resources to change and stay relevant.
Adapt and thrive.
Adapt and thrive, exactly.
Yep. But apparently they're doing it all with a very tight budget.
Yeah, that's true.
The September meeting notes mentioned a 7 million krona decrease in media budget since 2009.
Not easy.
That can't be easy to manage.
It makes BiBK's support even more important.
Right.
They're helping libraries use every krona wisely.
So you can still access amazing resources and programs.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of amazing programs, I was impressed by BiBK's focus on literacy this year.
Yeah, it's been a big focus.
Les French on de Lifted.
Ah, yes.
Reading Promotion Lift.
Yes.
Seemed to be at the heart of so many initiatives.
It really was.
Can you tell us more about that?
So it's all about making reading more popular for all ages.
Great.
And it got a big boost in 2024 with a grant from the Swedish Arts Council.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this allowed them to expand programs and reach more people.
That's fantastic.
But it's not just about giving out books.
No.
It's about creating a passion for reading.
I love that.
It really is exciting stuff.
It sounds like they're doing that through some really creative programs.
Oh, yeah.
I saw in the May meeting notes that they're hosting some conferences.
Yes.
Focused on reading promotion, especially for young people.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw in the September notes, Nicholas Lunava is going to be involved.
That's right. Big name.
For those who might not know who that is.
Nicholas Lunava is a well-known figure in the literacy world.
Oh, interesting.
He's particularly good at engaging young boys with reading.
That's so important.
It is.
Especially considering that statistic we talked about.
Yeah, the declining library visits.
Exactly.
So it seems like they're thinking strategically about who they partner with.
To make a real impact.
Exactly.
They're bringing in the experts to inspire the next generation of readers.
And it's not just about these big events.
Yeah.
They're also focused on building a strong foundation for early literacy.
Okay.
Remember those Sparkstegen we saw?
Sparkstegen.
Yeah, language steps.
I do remember seeing that a few times.
Right, it came up in a few different places.
So it must be important.
It is. It's crucial.
Yeah.
It focuses on early literacy development.
Okay.
Especially for children who don't speak Swedish at home.
Got it.
We're talking about building the language skills.
Yeah.
That set kids up for success in school.
And in life. That's fantastic. And speaking of setting kids up for success, I saw in the April newsletter that BiBK supported a tour for Nora Khalil.
Oh, yeah, last year's winner of the Gjorts Fried Prize.
Now, for those who might not be familiar with that.
The Gjorts Fried Prize is a big deal.
Really?
It's awarded for outstanding young adult fiction in Swedish.
Cool.
And BiBK actually co-sponsors it with Region Bleking.
So they supported Nora's tour.
We did.
To introduce her to young readers all over the region.
It's about inspiring a new generation of writers and storytellers.
I love that. So we have these big names like Nicholas Lunava.
Yes.
And rising stars like Nora.
Yes.
BiBK is really cultivating a lively literacy scene.
For sure.
But it's not all about books, right?
Oh, no.
They're also embracing the digital world.
We are. And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, hold on. I think we've covered a lot for part one.
Yeah.
But listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to uncover how BiBK is embracing the digital age.
We'll be back.
From AI to online platforms,
That's right.
all to improve your library experience. We'll be right back after a short break.
And we're back, ready to dive into how BiBK is making sure libraries are exciting and relevant in this digital world we live in.
You bet I am. I'm super curious about this DigiDag that happened in November.
Oh, yes.
The evaluation report made it sound like a game changer.
It was.
For library staff.
Oh, yeah.
What exactly was it all about?
Imagine a crash course on AI just for librarians. We didn't just talk about theory.
No.
We gave them real tools.
Cool.
Real examples
All right.
to show them how AI can help them in their work.
And benefit the library user.
Exactly.
So it's not some far-off thing in the future.
Yeah.
They're bringing AI to libraries right now.
That's the cool part.
That's awesome.
Imagine
Yeah.
getting book recommendations tailored to your interests
Right.
or instant research help
Oh,
from an AI chatbot.
that's the kind of future BBK is working towards.
It is.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
But it's not all about AI.
Right.
I saw in the November meeting notes that BBK is involved in getting a new digital platform
Yes.
for newspapers and magazines.
That's right.
What's that about?
It's all about keeping up with how people consume information.
Okay.
Print is declining,
Yeah, I've noticed that.
but the need for reliable news
For sure.
and diverse views is as important as ever.
Definitely.
This platform will give you access to a ton of digital publications,
Wow.
all at your fingertips.
That's so important these days,
It is.
with misinformation spreading so easily online.
You said it.
Speaking of digital access, I have to ask about these press reader discussions. From the April meeting notes,
Yeah.
it sounds like there were some mixed feelings about the platform.
Press Reader is a great idea in theory.
Oh,
It offers a massive collection of digital newspapers and magazines
sounds great.
from all over the world.
Wow.
But some libraries felt it wasn't quite hitting the mark, especially when it came to serving people who speak different languages.
I see.
There were concerns about
Yeah.
usage and whether it was meeting everyone's needs.
So it's not a perfect solution.
Right, it's not one size fits all.
But even with these challenges,
Yeah.
it sounds like there was still a lot of support for Press Reader.
There was.
Why is that?
Because it gives access to such a wide range of viewpoints.
Okay.
It's about promoting
Yeah.
democracy and understanding,
Makes sense.
which really aligns with what BiBK stands for.
It sounds like a complicated issue
It is.
with no easy answers.
No, it's tricky.
But BBK is committed to providing our listeners with all these digital resources,
Yes, we are.
even if it means navigating some difficult situations.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about access to information, right?
Right.
It's about creating spaces where people can engage with the information,
Yeah.
connect with others,
Yeah.
and have those important conversations.
Exactly.
That brings us to one of my favorite things from this year.
Oh, yeah. What's
Yeah.
that?
Biblioteken som tankesmedjer,
I
libraries as think tanks.
love it.
This project just blew me away.
Me too.
It's like they're completely changing how we think about the role of libraries.
In a good way.
Oh, definitely.
So tell me,
Yeah.
what impressed you so much about it?
BBK challenged libraries to become places for civic engagement and conversation.
Okay.
And the results were incredible.
I agree.
The Vifika events in Emaboda were such a cool idea.
I love those.
You grab a coffee and a pastry,
Yeah.
chat with your neighbors
Right.
about issues that are important to your community.
What a great way to make civic engagement feel easy and accessible.
Exactly. It was brilliant.
It was.
And then there was the Neve initiative in Oskarshamn.
Oh, tell me about that one.
They went all in, hosting lectures on all sorts of things.
Some things.
Renewable energy, philosophy.
Wow.
They turned their library into a real marketplace of ideas, which I think is a big part of BBK's vision for Biblioteken som tankesmedjer.
It is.
It's not about avoiding difficult topics.
Yeah.
It's about providing a space
Yeah.
where people can share their views and debate respectfully.
Exactly.
And it's not just about waiting for people to come to the library. So we've got digital literacy, these innovative programs, and a focus on conversations.
Yes.
It's clear BBK is changing what it means to be a library.
For sure.
But they also recognize that a library is only as good as its physical space.
Right.
And that brings us to the Rosengards Bibliothek in Malmö.
Ah.
That library was designed with kids in mind.
It was.
I remember from the September meeting notes, they had child-sized furniture, play areas.
That's right.
Everything was about creating a welcoming space for kids.
It was so well done.
Makes me wish I had a library like that when I was a kid.
It's so important to make positive associations
Yeah.
with reading and learning.
From a young age.
Exactly.
It's a space where every child feels welcome.
Absolutely.
And encouraged to explore.
I love it.
And that ties back to those Språkstigen efforts, too.
Right. It all connects.
It does. It's about creating a supportive environment for early literacy development.
Yes.
And I love that BiBK isn't just content with where things are now.
They always want to improve.
They do.
Yeah.
There was even a hint in the September meeting notes about potential partnerships with child health care services.
That would be amazing.
It would.
To reach even more families.
It's so cool how BiBK is connecting all these different initiatives.
It is.
To create this robust support system. For libraries and their communities.
They're strategic.
Yeah.
They're thinking long term.
And they understand that all these different initiatives are part of a larger whole.
It's about the big picture.
And that network extends to the digital world, too.
For sure.
Remember that Digidag?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just about learning about AI.
Oh, no.
It was about giving librarians the skills to be leaders in the digital age.
Exactly.
And that valuation report mentioned specific tools like Notebook LM that people were excited to start using.
It was great to see that enthusiasm.
It's great that they weren't just learning concepts.
Right.
They were learning things they could actually apply.
And use in their work.
To benefit the library user.
Exactly.
I like to think of BiBK as helping libraries be guides. In this world full of digital information.
That's a great way to put it.
And it's not just about tech skills.
What else?
It's about addressing the bigger picture. Like media literacy and information literacy.
Yes.
With all the information out there, it's more important than ever to think critically about what we read and see.
You're right.
And BiBK is on top of this.
They are.
They're making sure that new library employees understand the importance of information literacy.
It's a core part of their training.
So they're not just reacting to the current situation.
Right.
They're giving libraries the tools to help people navigate this world of information.
Exactly.
And that includes all those tricky aspects of the digital world.
Absolutely.
And their work with Bibliotek and some Tanks' measure shows that too.
It does.
It's about reimagining libraries as places where critical thinking thrives.
And meaningful conversations happen.
Yes. And that might mean dealing with some uncomfortable topics.
Right.
Like in Oskarshamn.
What happened there?
They had a lecture on wind power.
Okay.
And then they gave a platform to someone with a completely different viewpoint.
That's great.
That's brave.
It is.
It shows that they're committed to the freedom to share different opinions.
It's so important.
It is.
To hear different perspectives.
Even when we don't agree.
Especially then.
It's about creating a safe space for respectful debate.
I think that's something we need more of these days.
Absolutely.
And that focus on a safe and inclusive environment extends to the physical spaces, too.
Of course.
We've talked about Rosengård's Bibliotek.
Yeah.
But BiBK is promoting a wider view of accessibility.
So it's about more than just wheelchair ramps.
More than that.
And accessible restrooms.
Yes. It's about making sure everyone feels welcome.
Okay.
Regardless of their background, abilities, or learning styles.
It's about removing barriers.
Exactly.
Physical, cultural, linguistic.
All of them.
And they're doing this in real, tangible ways.
Give me an example.
Remember that project in Lund? They collaborated with Begripsum.
Oh, right.
An organization that makes information accessible to people with cognitive disabilities.
They're putting their words into action.
They are. So I'm curious, with all these amazing initiatives, how does BiBK stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great question.
How do they keep up with the latest trends?
That's where these interregional networks come in.
I saw something about that in the Digidag report. I think the Redag network?
Yeah, that's one of them.
What is that?
BiBK is working with other regional library organizations all over Sweden.
So they're sharing ideas and best practices.
Exactly.
Why reinvent the wheel? Right.
You got it.
It's so smart to learn from each other.
It is.
And work together.
And it helps them make the most of their resources.
Which is especially important given those tight budgets.
Very true.
And that brings us back to those press reader discussions.
Oh, right.
Even though it's an existing platform.
Yes.
BiBK is always evaluating it. Making sure it's being used effectively.
It's about being responsible.
And making sure every resource is being used to its full potential.
Exactly.
And they're not making these decisions on their own.
No.
They're talking to the libraries.
Right.
Getting feedback.
It's a collaborative process.
I like that.
It's important to involve the people who are most affected by these decisions.
And that collaborative spirit goes beyond just the region.
How so?
BiBK is also advocating for libraries
Okay.
at the national level.
That's right.
They're fighting for libraries on a bigger stage.
They are.
They understand the challenges libraries face.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to speak up.
They're involved in discussions about funding, like the Stärkta Bibliotek initiative.
Strengthened libraries.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
It's about making sure libraries have the money they need
To thrive.
Exactly.
And it sounds like that's not a sure thing.
Unfortunately not.
I remember some concerns in the September notes
Right?
about that funding possibly ending.
That would be a big problem.
It would be a huge loss for libraries.
It would.
But BiBK is working hard
Yes.
to make sure libraries get the support they need.
And they're working alongside other regional organizations.
Power in numbers, right.
Exactly.
They know that if they speak together, their message will be heard.
Libraries are a national treasure.
They are.
And they deserve to be supported.
And that support needs to be more than just money.
Right.
Also involved in national projects like BoK Start,
Ah, yes.
which we talked about earlier.
It's all about promoting early literacy.
It's so cool how they're combining their regional work with these nationwide initiatives.
It's about maximizing their impact.
Okay, but we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the challenges
That's true.
BiBK is facing.
There are always challenges.
I mean, we talked about the budget constraints.
Yeah?
What else is making their job difficult?
Transportation.
Ugh. Yeah.
Moving materials between libraries across 2 regions,
Yeah.
it's expensive and complicated.
And those April meeting notes didn't sound too optimistic.
No, it's a tough one.
It sounds like they've hit a wall.
But they're not giving up.
I'm glad to hear that.
They're exploring all sorts of solutions.
What kind of solutions?
Partnerships with companies,
Okay.
using technology to make sharing resources easier.
Interesting.
They're thinking outside the box.
So maybe digital platforms aren't just about providing content.
Maybe not.
Maybe they can also solve these logistical
It's
problems.
possible.
And then there's the challenge of keeping up with technology.
That's a big one.
Technology changes so quickly.
It does.
How do they do it?
It takes resources
Yeah.
and a willingness to embrace change.
Not everyone is comfortable with change,
And that's true.
especially when it comes to technology.
Some people are resistant.
It must be tough
Yeah,
to get everyone on board with these new ideas.
it is a challenge.
But it sounds like BiBK is handling it well.
They are.
They're providing training and support
Yeah,
to help library staff adapt.
that's key.
They're not just saying, figure it out on your own.
They're saying,
Yeah.
we're in this together.
We'll help you through it.
Yes.
That's so important.
It is.
So we've talked about a lot of BiBK's internal initiatives,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also interested in their role
Yeah.
in advocating for libraries more broadly.
Okay.
It seems like they're really shaping the future of libraries,
Yeah, they're doing great work.
not just in their region, but across Sweden.
They have a unique perspective,
They do.
and they really understand the challenges libraries are facing.
And they're not afraid to use their voice
Right.
to advocate for libraries.
At every level.
We talked about national funding, but they're also engaging with policymakers on issues like digital inclusion
Okay.
and the changing role of libraries in the digital age.
It's about reframing
Yeah.
how people think about libraries.
It's about showing that libraries are more than just places to borrow books.
They're essential community hubs.
Yes.
They play a vital role
in education, information access.
in social well-being.
Exactly.
They're backing up their words
Yeah.
with real actions.
They're sharing their success stories.
Yes.
And showing the impact of their work
Making the case.
for libraries.
Yes.
And why they deserve our support.
It's inspiring to see their passion.
And
And
then-
they're not just talking about abstract ideas.
No.
They're focused on people.
Okay.
Remember those meeting notes about creating welcoming libraries?
Yeah, that was great.
It's about making libraries more than just functional spaces.
They're encouraging libraries to be real community centers.
Places where everyone feels valued.
And BiBK is taking a very community-focused approach.
Definitely.
They're not just guessing what people want.
Yeah.
They're listening to what their communities are saying.
They're building trust
Yeah.
and making sure libraries are responsive.
To their needs. It's a good reminder
Yeah.
that libraries are shaped by the people they serve.
It's a two-way street.
It is.
BiBK is helping libraries
Yeah.
build strong relationships.
With their communities.
Absolutely.
So with all this talk about community engagement,
Yeah.
I'm curious about how BiBK is measuring their success.
Okay.
Are they tracking their progress?
They are.
Evaluating their initiatives?
Oh, yeah. They're committed to evaluation.
That's great.
It's not enough to just have good ideas.
Yeah.
You have to actually see
Yeah.
if they're making a difference.
So it's about more than just doing good deeds.
It is.
It's about checking to see if those deeds are having the intended effect.
Yes, exactly.
How do they do that?
They use all sorts of methods,
Right.
surveys,
Okay.
interviews,
Got it. Data
analysis.
focus groups.
It sounds like a comprehensive approach.
It is.
They're looking at the numbers,
Yes.
but they're also listening to people's stories. They want to understand the human impact.
I really appreciate that.
It's important.
And they're not afraid to share what they learn.
No, they're transparent about their findings.
That's great.
They share both their successes and their challenges.
And they use that information to improve their programs.
Exactly.
It's refreshing to see an organization that's so committed to accountability and always getting better.
They're always striving to make a positive impact.
I love that.
And it shows in everything they do.
Yeah, you're right.
They're not content to just sit back.
They always want to do more.
They want to reach more people.
Make libraries even more relevant.
It's an inspiring example for any organization.
Especially those working in the public sector.
Like libraries.
It shows that with passion and dedication,
Yeah.
you can really make a difference.
BiBK is proof of that.
They're not just supporting libraries.
Right.
They're transforming them.
Into dynamic centers.
Yeah. For learning, connection, and positive change.
Beautifully said.
So we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
Literacy, digital inclusion, community engagement.
Yeah.
It's clear BiBK has had a really impactful year.
They have.
What do you think is the most significant thing we've learned?
For me, it's BiBK's commitment to putting people at the center of everything.
That's a great point.
Whether it's designing a welcoming library or giving librarians the skills to navigate the digital world or creating spaces for important conversations.
Yeah.
BiBK always prioritizes people.
That's a great way to sum it up.
It's what drives them.
And it makes me think about the future.
Oh, yeah.
As we look ahead, how do you see the role of libraries changing?
That's a big question.
It is.
It's hard to predict the future.
It is.
But I think one thing is for sure.
What's that?
Libraries aren't going to stay the same.
They're going to keep changing.
They have to meet the needs of their communities.
So do you think they'll still be relevant?
Absolutely.
Even with all the technology we have now?
I think technology will actually be a big part of the future of libraries.
Interesting.
But it's not about technology for its own sake.
Right.
It's about using technology to connect people with information and with each other.
So libraries will be even more important,
I think,
as places to learn about technology and develop digital skills.
Exactly.
And they'll still be important as places for gathering and connecting with people.
Absolutely.
Even though we have all these virtual ways to connect now.
People crave real human connection.
And libraries provide that.
They do.
They're safe and welcoming places where people can come together and share their stories.
It sounds like you think libraries have a bright future.
I do.
I agree.
If they embrace innovation and adapt to the changing needs of their communities.
And that's exactly what BiBK is helping them do. They're helping libraries be their best. To be centers of their communities.
And to inspire people.
For years to come.
That's a great vision.
It is.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive. We've seen all the amazing work BiBK has done this year.
It's been an incredible year.
From literacy to digital inclusion to community engagement.
And more.
I'm feeling really inspired.
Me too.
By all the innovation and dedication happening in libraries.
And I think this is just the beginning.
I think so too.
BiBK is laying the groundwork.
For a bright future.
For a library.
I hope this deep dive has given our listeners a new appreciation for their local library.
Libraries are amazing resources.
They are.
And they offer so much to their communities.
But before we go,
I
want to remind everyone of that question we asked earlier.
What was it again?
What are your hopes
for
the future of libraries?
What do you want to see?
What role do you want them to play
in
your life and in your community?
We want to hear from you.
Because ultimately, the future of libraries depends on all of us.
It does.
The people who work in them, the people who visit them, and the people who believe in them.
That's right.
Let's work together to make our libraries the best they can be.
That's a great goal.
Until next time, happy reading, exploring,
and connecting.
See you next time.
Bye. Yeah, what will it take for libraries to not just survive, but really thrive in the future?
Well, thinking back to all we've talked about, libraries offer something really special.
What's that?
A curated space you can trust.
Okay,
Like an antidote to all the information overload online.
I see what you mean.
It's like the difference between using a map and stars. Or just blindly following your GPS.
Interesting.
Libraries have that human touch.
Yeah.
That helps you find the good stuff.
And it's not just about the content either. It's about the experience.
I remember reading in the April newsletter about those UX discussions.
Oh, yes.
Making libraries more intuitive and engaging.
Exactly.
Is that part of the future of libraries, too?
Definitely. Libraries are realizing that they need to up their game.
Right.
It's not just about having a lot of books.
Okay.
It's about making the whole library experience easy, enjoyable, and relevant.
So it's like those user-centered design principles.
Exactly. Those principles apply to libraries, too.
And BiBK's helping libraries make those changes.
We are.
They're offering training and resources on things like website design and even the physical layout of the library.
It's about creating a better experience.
For everyone. For the visitors.
They're like consultants for libraries.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Helping them adapt and succeed.
And that extends to the digital world as well.
Of course.
We talked about the Digidag.
Yeah.
But there's so much more happening behind the scenes.
Right. So things like giving libraries access to online databases.
Yes.
Training staff on new software.
Yeah.
Helping them develop digital literacy programs.
Exactly. Making sure libraries are on the cutting edge.
Of technology.
Yes. Not falling behind.
It's so important these days.
It is.
When so much of life depends on those digital skills.
Absolutely.
And BiBK is tackling these bigger societal issues, too.
We are.
They see libraries as more than just book lenders.
Yes.
They're community hubs.
Right.
For growth and positive change.
They really are.
And they're tailoring their approach to each individual community.
Of course.
Like those bibliothèques and some tanks measure examples.
Yes. I loved those.
Each library took the idea and made it their own.
They did.
They created initiatives that worked for them.
It was so inspiring to see.
From those fika discussions to town hall style meetings, they're finding new ways to have these important conversations.
And to empower people to make a difference in their communities.
It's a great partnership between BiBK and the libraries.
It is.
So to wrap it all up,
it
sounds like BiBK is trying to make libraries dynamic and relevant for the 21st century.
And that's a great way to put it.
And they're doing it through strategic planning, creative thinking, and genuine passion for library.
I agree.
It's been amazing.
It has.
To learn about all the work they're doing.
It's exciting work.
I feel energized by all the innovation in libraries.
It's inspiring.
And I have a feeling this is just the beginning.
I think so, too.
BiBK is setting the stage for a great future for libraries.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for you, dear listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on your local library.
Go check out your local library.
They have so much to offer.
They do.
And before we go, remember that question we asked?
About the future of library.
What are your hopes for the future?
Tell us what you think.
What role do you want libraries to play in your life and in your community?
We really want to hear from you.
The future of libraries depends on all of us.
It does.
The people who work there, the people who visit,
and
the people who believe in their power.
That's right.
Let's work together to make our libraries the best they can be.
I love that.
That's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.